Imagine you wake up tomorrow in the middle of a forest. No roads, no phone, no GPS, no compass. Just endless trees stretching in every direction. You start walking, convinced you'll find your way back. After all, how hard could it be? An hour passes, then another. Every tree looks the same. Every hill looks familiar. You swear you've never walked this way before. Until you notice the same fallen log you passed nearly an hour ago. You've been walking in circles. Now imagine you're not wearing hiking boots, you're barefoot, you're carrying nothing but a wooden spear, you haven't eaten since yesterday, and somewhere nearby, wolves are also looking for dinner. For hundreds of thousands of years, this wasn't a nightmare. It was reality. Ancient humans crossed enormous forests, frozen plains, deserts, and mountains without maps, compasses, or roads. Sometimes hunters became separated while chasing prey. Sometimes thick fog rolled in. Sometimes a river flooded and cut them off from their tribe. So what happened when an ancient human got lost? The answer is surprisingly different from what most people imagine. Picture yourself 45,000 years ago. The morning begins before sunrise, the air is cold, and your hunting party quietly follow fresh tracks through a dense forest. After hours of searching, someone spots movement. A young deer bolts through the trees. Everyone runs. Branches whip across your face. Your heart pounds. The deer disappears over a ridge, and without thinking, you chase after it. The sound of your companions slowly fade behind you until all you hear is your own breathing. Finally, you stop. The deer is gone. You call out. Nothing answers. No footsteps, no voices, only birds. For the first time, you realize you're completely alone. And in prehistoric times, being alone wasn't just frightening, it could be fatal. Most people assume the smartest thing to do would be to keep walking until they found home. Ironically, that's one of the worst mistakes anyone can make. Even today, scientists have shown that people lost in forests often walk in giant circles without realizing it. When the sun is hidden and there are no clear landmarks, our brains slowly drift left or right. We genuinely believe we're walking straight while unknowingly returning to the same place again and again. Ancient humans probably understood this danger far better than we do. Instead of blindly running through unfamiliar land, an experienced hunter would first stop. He would climb a nearby hill if possible, look for rivers, look for unusual rock formations, look for smoke rising into the sky. He wasn't searching for a trail, he was searching for something familiar. Unlike us, prehistoric humans didn't rely on maps. They memorized landscapes. Every twisted tree, every massive boulder, every bend in a river, every distant mountain, every cliff. Their world existed inside their memory. Modern hunter-gatherer societies have amazed scientists by navigating hundreds of kilometers using nothing but landmarks and stories passed down through generations. They don't think of directions the way we do. Instead, they remember the land, almost like reading a giant book. But memory only works if the landscape stays visible. Heavy rain washes away footprints. Fog hides mountains. Snow covers everything. Suddenly, even the best navigator can become confused. As afternoon turns into evening, another problem appears. Darkness. Today, getting caught outside after sunset is usually just inconvenient. 50,000 years ago, darkness completely changed the rules. Temperatures dropped quickly, visibility almost disappeared. Lions, wolves, and hyenas and other predators became active. A single twisted ankle while stumbling through the dark could mean death. That's why experienced hunters likely made a difficult decision. Instead of continuing to search, they stopped. Finding shelter became more important than finding home. A rocky overhang, a thick group of trees, anything that blocked the wind. Once shelter was found, the next priority was even more important: fire. Today, we think of fire as something cozy. For ancient humans, fire was survival itself. It provided warmth, it cooked food, it kept dangerous animals at a distance, it dried soaked clothing and animal skins after rain, and perhaps most importantly, it produced smoke. A thin column of smoke rising above the trees could be seen from miles away. If the tribe was searching, smoke might guide them home. But keeping a fire alive wasn't easy. If it rained, if the wood became soaked, if strong winds scattered the embers, starting another fire from scratch could take hours, sometimes longer. Losing the fire while lost might have been the difference between surviving the night and freezing before morning. Even if predators never appeared, hunger quickly became another enemy. Hunting alone was dangerous. Large animals required teamwork. Chasing them by yourself risked injury. Instead, a lost hunter would likely gather berries, edible roots, insects, bird eggs, or anything safe enough to eat while conserving energy. Every unnecessary step wasted precious calories. Survival wasn't about being brave, it was about making smart decisions. As the night sky cleared, another guide appeared above: the stars. Long before compasses existed, humans used the sky as a giant navigation system. Certain stars rose and set in predictable places throughout the year. Combined with rivers, mountain ranges, prevailing winds, and the position of the sun, they helped create a surprisingly reliable sense of direction. Navigation wasn't magic, it was thousands of tiny observations remembered over an entire lifetime. Still, not everyone found their way home. Archaeologists occasionally discover isolated human remains far away from ancient campsites. Some skeletons show no signs of violence or attack, suggesting these people may have died from starvation, exposure, or simply being unable to find their tribe again. Nature didn't always give second chances. Yet, despite those risks, humans never stopped exploring. At first, that seems strange. If getting lost was so dangerous, why leave familiar territory at all? Because staying in one place could be even more dangerous. Animals migrated, rivers dried up, plants disappeared with changing seasons, climate shifted, entire regions became unlivable. To survive, humans had to keep moving. Every valley they crossed, every mountain they climbed, every frozen plain they entered, every unknown forest they explored carried the possibility that someone might never return. But those same journeys slowly carried our species across Africa, into Europe, Asia, Australia, and eventually the Americas. The courage to walk into the unknown shaped the entire history of humanity. So, the next time your phone loses signal or your GPS takes an extra few seconds to load, remember this. For almost all of human history, every journey depended entirely on one thing: the human mind. No satellites, no roads, no maps, no rescue helicopters. Just observation, memory, patience, and experience. Many ancient humans became lost. Some never returned, but the ones who did slowly learned every river, every mountain, every forest, and every path that eventually connected the world. Without those explorers, our story as a species might have ended long before it ever truly began.